Here we are again, America. Deer Hunter DVM coming back at you again. November the 13th is in the books. Is it winter or is it the rut in November? What the heck, man? So this morning I had to go get my back adjusted at the chiropractor because I have lower back trouble, and sitting in a tree stand 7 to 12 hours a day in weather that is not fit for man nor beast is hard on my lower back. So at daybreak, I drove around a little bit, did a gas and glass on some areas. Didn't see a whole heck of a lot out moving this morning at all. Really slow. Standing beans look like the food source of choice, typical for like wintertime activity, even though it's still quote fall. Little bucks cruising, decent activity, but very subdued, I would call it. The evening hunt, afternoon hunt, my brother and I went into we hiked in deep, and it's kind of a tortuous way to get into a spot where we can hunt a field edge without disturbing the main sections of timber. You have to take a creek basin all the way in. The creek basin was frozen, and it made for tricky footfall. We got in there about, I don't know, 1:30, and got settled in for a long afternoon hunt. And we had good activity. Saw a lot of turkeys right off the jump. Saw a couple, 3 different young bucks kind of running helter-skelter, like going from block of timber to block of timber, just out running hard, cruising. We did engage a fistful of does. We had the decoy out. I was filming my brother. We had the decoy out. We engaged a couple of a little doe in the decoy. She didn't like it and spazzed out and left. We engaged a little yearling forkhorn. He didn't spaz, but he engaged the decoy at 40 yards or 50 and kind of turned around and left. We were in there after a buck we call the tag-along 10. He is a nice, pretty, clean 160-inch flat 10 point with a nice, just a beautiful white rack, probably 21 inches wide or so. Excellent buck. We had a breeding party going on in the bottom below us, and we really couldn't see what was happening. Looked like a couple of decent bucks that showed themselves just very briefly as they were dogging a doe in there. We did see a really nice looking up and comer, looked like what I would call a 4-year-old 8-pointer that would just make Pope. He was part of that breeding party that spilled out into the field in front of us. And then just as we were packing up, as usual, guess who shows up? That's right, the tag-along 10. And he's out there about 300 yards, and he's not even in that breeding party. He just has broke off all by himself, and he's out feeding. But you could tell in his body posture that he kind of wanted to do something. We had about a total of 9 minutes of legal shooting light left, and my brother says, "Hey, let's whack the horns together and see if he comes running." I told him to hold off on that because invariably they'll get up to the decoy and they'll hang up, and we'll burn our legal shooting light, and then we'll have to get down with a 160-inch 5-year-old standing there in front of us. So we elected not to make a call or aggressive play on him. We just watched him feed and slipped out of there, pulled the decoy after last light and slipped it into the timber. I am confident that we got away with that. How the contour is on that field, we most certainly got away with moving that decoy back into the brush. On the way out, we pulled a couple camera cards, and I ripped some lone wolf sticks out of there for my next adventure. Probably going to move into another spot tomorrow with this south that's coming in. So Gonna be a work day tomorrow. Probably not gonna hunt at daybreak because I've got I've got the sneaking suspicion that it's gonna freeze again through the overnight and just make footfall just absolutely loud and carry through the timber when you go to squeeze in tight on some. So I'll probably I've got some calves up here that are sick I need to treat at the family farm. Probably treat them, work on them, and go probably pull a set, throw the set with those lone wolf sticks, and I may do a hanging hunt tomorrow afternoon on a tree that I found that I really like on the edge of some logged out timber, and there's a lot of standing beans out there. So that's what's going on in the whitetail world for me. I appreciate everybody following along and just kind of taking inventory with me. It's kind of a strange rut, really. They're definitely still cruising and rutting despite the snow. It's not what I would consider that classic hard, just beating and banging, balls to the wall chasing. But we did see some excellent rutting activity this afternoon. So all in all, temperatures were good. I'm going to give the weather a 9. Much better this afternoon. Sunny. Wind wasn't as bad. Temperature topped out about 30. Excellent whitetail hunting weather. And the rutting activity that we saw, I'm going to give it a solid 8. It was good, but it wasn't phenomenal. So that being said, I'll see everybody tomorrow night. I'll check in with everyone again, and hopefully we crack one tomorrow. Deer Hunter DVM, talk to you tomorrow.